Hello viewers, I am Sapna Shukla, former Assistant Professor, Amity School of Engineering and Technology, Amity University. In this video, we will be learning basics of spreadsheet. So let us understand what is a spreadsheet first. So a spreadsheet is a large sheet having data and information arranged in rows and columns. The data in the sheet is usually related to each other. So let us take an example like students' name, marks in various subjects can be made up into a spreadsheet that can form a spreadsheet. Similarly, employees' data like the name, address, salary, designation, etc. can also be made up into a spreadsheet. You use spreadsheet basically because it is a calculating tool which is used to solve problems involving data analysis, numerical computation. So after this introduction, let us first understand what will be the learning objectives from this video. To understand how to work with MS Excel 2007, to learn how can modification formatting of the worksheet be done, to understand how to format spreadsheet before printing, and we will also learn to protect a workbook. So let us first explore the Excel environment. So over here you can see that there is a Microsoft button over here which you basically use to access important options such as new, save as and print. Then you have the tabbed ribbon menu system which is used to navigate Excel and access its various commands. Okay. Then we have the quick access toolbar over here on the top besides the Microsoft Office button. So this quick access toolbar is basically you can customize it, and usually it has got do and undo buttons. Similarly, when you open the worksheet, you will have 3 worksheets which are by default there. You can add worksheet, you can delete worksheet. Then you also have a horizontal scroll bar, page views, zoom tool to zoom the screen. Okay. So these are the things which are at the bottom left area of the spreadsheet. Okay. So let us understand with a demo. So let me open a Excel sheet for you. So you can see this is a Excel. So how do I open it? I open it using the Microsoft button. I click a new button, and when I click new, I can create a blank workbook. This is how I can create a blank worksheet. Over here I have entered some data, okay, so that we can save time. So I can scroll this using vertical scroll bar to look at the different options. And you also have the option of seeing the page layout options, the normal view that you can see, and you can also look at page break preview. So this is showing the page break preview, wherein this is your sheet. It shows that there are 2 pages involved in printing. When you print this worksheet, it will be printed in 2 pages. So what you can do is you can just drag this and you can click like this. You can drag with the help of mouse and you can just make this into 1 page. So that option is also there. Okay. So I'm going back to the normal view. So you can also see the name box over here. This is your name box. This is the formula bar. And when you open any Excel file, usually these are the different cells. Okay. This is one cell. So this cell is named B1, that is column B and row 1, and similarly this is B2, similarly this is B3. Okay. So let us see how do we work on a workbook. So you will need to know how to insert text, numbers into Excel workbook to be able to use it to calculate, analyze and organize data. So basically over here, if I have to insert, let's say at the end, let me insert a text. So let's say I want to enter Sapna. So I just click on a particular cell and I type the name. So this is a marks in a particular subject. So let me say I've got 78 in this. You can enter 45 in this. Let's say he is good at this subject, 90 and 45, and let's say 98 in this subject. Okay. So these are the 5 subjects that are of this particular student Sapna, and these are the marks scored by that particular student. And similarly, I've already entered the marks. Okay. So different data types in the Excel sheets that you can type over here. So numbers, your numbers can be from the entire range of numeric values, whole numbers, decimals and scientific notation as well. Okay. So Excel displays scientific notation automatically if you enter a number that is too long to be viewed in its entirety in a cell. So you may see number signs like hash. Let's say if I try to decrease this, you can see that this number is being displayed in the form of hash. So you just have to widen the column and the data will be displayed in a normal format. Okay. So we also have date and time. So when you enter dates and times, Excel converts these entries into serial numbers and keeps it as background information. However, the dates and times will be displayed to you on the worksheet in a format opted by you. So basically, how do we format date? Let's say I've just trying to show you how you can see the option of dates. So over here, this is the date column. So I've just taken name, marks in 5 subjects. We will be seeing how to calculate total, and let's say the fine is ₹100 and date paid is for this particular student is 5/6/2016. Similarly, what you can do is you can format this date over here. You can usually any column is in general option setting. So over here, when you look at this particular number, it has a general setting, that is no specific format. Now if I want this data to be in the currency format, so what I can do is I can click on the currency format, and this fine, which is basically should be in terms of rupees. So now the numbers will come in the format of rupee. So you can format the whole column also in the same format. So you can say similarly currency. So this will be in the form of currency. You can just change these numbers in the form of currencies, and the normal calculations can be done. Similarly, over here you have a date. So date is basically you can change the format of the date also. So let's say if you have to change the format of the date, you can just go to the number subgroup under home tab and click on the down arrow key, and you can change the options to, these are the default options that are shown. I'll just magnify it, and you can see that these are the various options that are shown. So over here it's 14/3/2001, and over here it is 14/3/01. So let me select this. The date changes to 5/6/16. So the date now changes to this particular format. So you have an option to change the format also. So when you look at these, it's general. You can change it to maybe any particular, you can say it's a number. So you can change it to number format as well, or you can make it general. That's up to you now. Okay. Similarly, you also have data in series. I've got a sheet, and there are some serial numbers already displayed. So it's 1, 2, and I want that all serial numbers should be coming, because these are in an increasing order. So what I want is 1, 2 should be automatically printed besides the rows. So what I can do is I can just select this 2. So I'll use my shift key and I'll press the arrow key, and then I just go beside this and I can just drag this. So when I drag this, the data series automatically comes. Okay. So this is how you can add data series automatically to your Excel sheet. Okay. Formatting, as I told you that this sheet is not formatted. So how do I modify the column width? There are certain text which are not getting displayed fully. Okay. So what I can do is I can modify the column width. I can just go to the headings, and I can see my cursor now changes to a double arrow, and I can just double click on this. So when I double click, my whole text gets displayed. There is another option that I can just go at the top, my cursor changes to double arrow, and I can drag this also. So as we want. So I can drag this and change my column width. Similarly, if I want to change my row width, the same way you can go to the headings at the row. Let's say 5, I want to drag this, and I want to change the height. I can change the height as I require. Okay. We also have an option to do the formatting. Okay. Under home tab, you can go to the cells subgroup, and you can format. You can select the format option, and under that you can select the row height, or you have the column width to customize the column width and the row height by manually, or you can use auto fit row height to change the column width and the row height automatically. Okay. Let's say, how do I delete a particular row or a column? So what I can do is I can click, let's say I want to delete this percentage column. I don't want to calculate the percentage right now. So what I can do is I can just click on the heading, and I right click and I say delete. So if I use this option, if I delete this, you can see that the column percentage has been deleted from the worksheet. Okay. Usually this is data, and I want data to be printed in the form of a table. So usually the table has got borders. So by default, if I print this without formatting, there will be no borders printed. So what I can do is I can select, okay, I select Control A where whatever the text is. What you can do is you can just click on the font option, and under the font you can go to this bottom border and you can click all borders. So you can see that there are borders surrounding the different columns and the rows in the worksheet. Okay. Similarly, you can change the color of the border, you can change the style, line style of the border. Okay. So you can see that this has been formatted now. Okay. You can see all the not there. So what I'll do is I'll just click this, I'll click biology also, I'll click chemistry also. So what I can see now is my whole text is getting displayed. There is no text which is not shown fully. Okay. So now let's see how do we select, add or rename a worksheet. So the worksheets in a workbook are accessible by clicking the worksheet tabs. To insert a new worksheet before an existing worksheet, what we can do is we can just, these are the different sheets. I can just click, if I have to add a sheet towards the end, I can just click this option. I hope you are able to see, but I'll just magnify this. So what you can do is you can just click this option, okay, and you can add a sheet. So sheet 4 has been added. You can see that sheet 4 has been added. You rename this worksheet. Okay, you can rename this to, let's say, student details. One sheet is, let's say, student marks, it contains student marks. The other can be student details. Okay, so this is how you can rename a worksheet as well. If I have to add a sheet, let's say in between, what I can do is I can right click the mouse and I can say insert. If I want to insert a worksheet, I'll just say okay, and you can see that just before sheet 2 there is a sheet 5 which is inserted. So I'll just zoom this. You can see that we had sheet 1, we had sheet 2, we had sheet 3 in series. I have added sheet 5 in between sheet 2 and sheet 1. That was by just click on the sheet 2 and right click, and you can just click insert. The sheet 5 will be inserted. Similarly, you can add at the end also. You can rename a worksheet just by clicking the mouse and just click on the rename option. So this is how you can rename worksheets, you can insert worksheets. Okay. Now let's say you have to copy, you have a sheet and let's say you want to cut, copy, paste. Okay, that is a very basic functionality that we always use. So what I can do is, let's say I'm trying to show you how we can copy the data from the same worksheet. Okay, so what you can do is, let's say I want to copy the first row. So I can just click on the first row and I want to copy, let's say, this content. Okay, and I press on the keyboard, I press Ctrl C. I'm just copying the content, let's say, to a new, and I press Ctrl plus V. So this option you can use to copy the content from one location to another. Similarly, if you want to let's say cut the content from a particular location, you can press Ctrl plus X and copy that content to a new location, similarly using Ctrl plus C. Okay, these are the options that are available in Microsoft Word, in fact in all the Office products. Freeze panes option. This is a very nice option, freeze panes. Let's say I've got a list of, big list of students. Okay, I've got over here, I can see there are, I'll just delete this row. So I right click and I delete this particular row. So let's say I've got a list of 31 students, and my 31 students, I can't see it. What happens is when I scroll down, column headings are missing. This serial number, name, this marks is in which subject, I'm not able to see that. So what I can do is I can freeze this particular first row. What I have to do is I have to go to the view option. In the view option, I've got in the window subgroup, what I do is I click on the freeze panes option. So freeze panes, you can just click on freeze top row. This option is available to you so that the top row can be freezed. So when you look at this top row will be freezed. When you scroll down, only this top row will be visible, other things will be scrolling. This will remain stationary. Or there is another option that you can freeze, let's say if you want to freeze 1, 2, 3 columns, or let's say just 1, 2 columns, you can freeze that as well. Okay. So if you want to freeze that, you can use the option, the first option. Let's say if you want to freeze the first 2 columns, use the first option. If you just have to freeze, let's say the top row, you can just click on the freeze top row. Now when I scroll, you can see that the first row remains stationary, while you can just drag down and you can see, you know, it's easier to understand the data now, right? So this is how you can use freeze panes option. So now let us do some very basic calculations. Okay, I have got a spreadsheet and there are marks with me. So let me show you very basic calculations. So what I'll do is, let's say I have to calculate total. So let me go to the home tab. In home tab, I've got an auto sum feature. In the auto sum feature, what I can do is I want to add these numbers. Okay, I want the total to be displayed over here. So I can just click on the auto sum feature, click on the sum feature, and you just press enter. So my total gets displayed. I can copy this formula once again into all the 31 students entries. So what I can do is just click on this particular, wherever the output was displayed, you just go. You can see that my cursor now changes to a plus sign. I'll just drag this down to my 31 rows. You can see that the formula is copied to all the rows over here. Okay, this is how we can copy the content basically, that is formula auto sum. Similarly, let's say if you have to you have to find the maximum. So what if, let's say in maths, what is the average and what is the maximum marks? How do I do that? So for that, what I can do is, once again I have an option of, I can select a particular cell and I can select average, I can select maximum, minimum, and to show, you know, from a particular column I can select that option also. So this basically spreadsheet gives you options to do calculations in a very easy way. Okay. So let's say this sheet is completed and I want to print this sheet. Okay. So first thing that I need to do is you know, set page breaks, because maybe I've got a big worksheet and this worksheet is not visible on a page. So okay, on a page, or maybe I want the content to be displayed in 2 pages. So, or maybe I want that particular column should be displayed in 1 page and the other column should be displayed on another page. So how can I can do that using page breaks. Okay, to set page breaks within the worksheet, select the row you want to appear just below the page break, and let's say I want a page break over here before the 15th row. Okay, so what I can do is I can just click on the page layout option and I can add breaks. So I can go to the page setup sub-menu and I can click on insert page break. So over here you can see that there is a page break which has been inserted. So this is basically you can see a different line being shown over here. So I can just click on the page break preview. So I can see that this page is basically this whole page will be a new page. I can see over here this yellow line shows me that this is a new page. I can also go for page preview. Okay, so over here, so my page is shown over here. See, I can see these are the different pages. Similarly, I can set the margins also. For setting the margins, you can just click on under the page setup subgroup, you can click on the margins option. So margins, you can set it to normal, wide, narrow. There are the 3, and you can customize the margins as well. Okay. Similarly, you can just click on the orientation option to set the layout to be you know, portrait or landscape. Okay. So you also have you can click on the down arrow key, which is just beside the page setup, and you can customize it over here how the printout will be looking like. Okay, so here you had the option over here. Similarly, you will have margins over here. You can add header footer as well. So over here you can see I have already added a footer, page 1. Whenever something gets displayed, it should display as page number 1. Okay, if you want to change that, you can change that also. You have various options. You can customize the footer also. Okay. So this is how you can, you know, do the page setup before printing. Okay. So let me show now how do you, there is an option, how do you see the data, before printing anything, how do you see the data. So just go to Microsoft Office button and click on the print preview option to see how the data will look like. Okay, so this is how the print preview is, page number 1 and page number 2. Okay, I can set this. Okay, I can see the margins. I can double click on these to set the margins also. I can just drag this. Okay, if something is not getting displayed, I can just do the settings in the print preview option also. Then let me show you how do I protect a worksheet. Okay, how do I I don't want my workbook to be manipulated by let's say a user who is not authorized to. Okay, maybe I want to share the document, but I don't want any unnecessary changes. So for that, what you can do is, when I save this particular Microsoft Excel document, I can go to the save as. Let's say I save it. Before saving, what I need to do is I need to do some settings. So for that, you need to click on the tools option. So over here, before saving, you need to set some passwords. So over here you can click the tools option. So just go to the general options, and over here you can see that there is a password. You can create a password to open the file. That is, you don't want any reviewer to open the file without the password. So you can just type a password. Let's say I have typed a password. Similarly, if I want that if somebody is able to open the worksheet, I don't want him to modify the worksheet. So once again, I want, let's say I once again give a password, okay, a different password, and this option should be clicked. Let's say if the person wants to modify or maybe he wants to see the data and maybe he wants to save a copy of it, he can open a read only document and do whatever changes he wants to, and just click OK. Okay. You have to re-enter the password again. Okay, once again I'll enter the password for, it will ask you, any password usually is asked 2 times, so that I myself don't have confusion in the passwords. Okay, and then you click save. Okay, so next time when you open this file, okay, so I've not given a file name, so let me give a file name to this, marks. Okay, and let me see, where is it being saved. Let me say I save it in NIOS folder, and I click now save. So my worksheet gets saved. Now next time when you open the worksheet, anybody tries to open the worksheet, what will happen is it will try to first ask for the password to open it, and then so let me close this worksheet now, and I'll just go to the NIOS folder so that I can show you how it gets opened. So here's the NIOS folder. In the NIOS folder I had saved a marks. So when I open the marks sheet, see, I had given 2 passwords. One was to open and one was to modify. So over here you can see that it is asking for a password. So when I enter password, it will give me this option. I say OK. Okay. So this is how you can use passwords basically to secure your documents. So we learned how to start working with MS Excel. We learned how modification, formatting of the worksheet be done. We now know how to format spreadsheet before printing. We also learned how to protect a worksheet. So we need to practice these, students, so that we become comfortable with the commands. Thank you so much.